Welcome to the latest episode of NXT Talk, the show where we chat about all things NXT. We're your hosts, as always. I'm Boris, and I'm joined by Matt.
Bonjour. How's everybody doing out there? We hope you're doing well. Boris, it's a cool and cloudy day in Toronto. I'm drinking a Mountain Dew Kickstart fruit punch. It's disgusting. My roommate is home making tacos. You know, life is good, Boris. The smell of tacos permeating the air.
That sounds pretty fucking good if you tell me. Nothing like a relaxing afternoon, eating tacos, drinking whatever the fuck you're drinking, and just chilling.
Yeah, this was like on sale at the old Shoppers Drug Mart. I can see why, because it's not very good. But every now and then I'll buy like a cheap energy drink and crank it during the podcast and regret my decision, much like right now.
About the podcast or the drink?
Well, no, the podcast will be fine. It was a decent NXT, a little on the boring side, a taped episode, but still pretty solid, all things considered. Definitely the drink. It tastes like I don't even know. Just really bad candy. Like it tastes like stale gummy worms or something.
Oh yeah. A lot of those energy drinks are just absolutely horrible, man. When I worked in the kitchen, I worked in a kitchen that got me through university. At one point I was opening the kitchen, doing opening prep, opening the restaurant, and then leaving and then coming back later in the day. And I used to drink a lot of energy drinks at that point. It was absolutely disgusting. I don't know how my heart is still beating sometimes. Like
oh, no.
The amount of energy drinks that I used to drink, the amount of coffee I used to drink, the amount of just that sort of stuff. And I mean everything legal. It's amazing that I'm still running sometimes. But working in the restaurant was insane. The whole point I'm trying to make is that I got very used to drinking energy drinks, and around 2003 till about 2008 when I worked there, that was when every week there used to be a new energy drink. So I would try all these different stuff, and man, half of them tasted like complete ass. Funny enough, the best one is still probably Red Bull, the one that I tolerate the most.
Yeah, man, the OG, the Red Bull. I agree. I think that is probably the best one. It is definitely not Mountain Dew Fruit Punch Kickstart. I'll tell you that much right now.
Yeah.
But
have you ever tried the I think it's the Crush sodas, but the alcoholic versions?
No, that sounds fantastic. I love me a Crush soda.
Yeah, I think I've tried the sour cream, or not the sour cream, the cream soda one. Sour cream, yum. The cream soda one. That one was actually pretty good. This is years ago. I think it was 17, 18 when I tried it, but I absolutely loved those. Pop Shop or whatever that's called. They also had a quick alcoholic version of those, which was really good. Tons of fun. Tons of flavors, but
there's what's the Uncle Crackers
Uncle Fucker
soda? Yeah, it's Uncle Fucker. That's what it is. Uncle Fucker. That's what it says on the can for sure. Man, that's definitely what it is.
Sorry for swearing so much. This is the countdown of when Boris is gonna burn out at this point.
No,
it's not really. I'm exhausted. It's been a crazy hectic week. Next week, another crazy hectic week, back on the road again. But after that, well, the only thing keeping me home is Dynamite.
Nice. And the party at the Rhino, Boris.
Exactly.
1249 Queen Street West.
Yes.
It's going to be a lot of fun, man. Yeah.
See what happens when my camera is not working. And the reason why it's not working is just because I'm disconnecting everything all the time. So it's being a bitch right now. But yeah, 1249 Queen Street West, Toronto, Ontario. Come one, come all. No entrance fee. Get there while there's still space. Come early. We have special guests, very special guests, awesome prizes. The THT group doing an awesome job helping us. And by us, it's the royal us. Really, Randy is doing all the legwork, and the Dark Side of the Elite guys. So huge thanks to THT and Dark Side of the Elite for helping putting this on, for getting all the prizes, for lining up awesome guests, for lining up everything. They've been doing an amazing job, and honestly, I can say from everything that I've heard, It's a day you do not want to miss. Even if you are not going to Dynamite on the Wednesday, come down to the Rhino, 1249 Queen Street West, and it's going to be a hell of a time. Like I've been saying, it is a celebration of wrestling, a bash at the bar. It's going to be an awesome time. You'll be meeting the entire group from all three brands. Literally, I think the only person missing, well, two people missing from S-Enemy, and that's Jason Agnew, and I think Brad the Dad, but everyone else is going to be there live and in person in some shape, way, or form, and in different levels of sober.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. I cannot wait. It will be a great time for sure. And like you said, some special guests, perhaps some current title holders in the world of professional wrestling, world champions, important people.
Yep, exactly. It's going to be awesome, honestly. I'm really looking forward to it. And again, huge shout out to Randy and everyone else, like really doing the legwork. Like, you know, I do what I am asked to do. I found the location, but they've been like really putting together the itinerary and everything else that's going to be going on that day. And honestly, everything that I've seen, it's going to be an amazing day that you do not want to miss whatsoever. It's going to be a great time. And like I say, I'm honestly, the thing I'm looking forward to the most is meeting the listeners. Like, it's been way too long. And this is something that I know we've been wanting to do. And like I mentioned earlier, if this is a success, this is something that we can start doing more of. I have ideas. There's certain things I want to do for pay-per-views. So yeah, let's make this worthwhile in the sense of, you know, this being the beta project. Let's get this going. It's going to be an awesome day. I'm really looking forward to it, man.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Maybe live shows, perhaps live watches during the pay-per-view. We have a lot of ideas, and yeah, this is kind of the pilot, the test run. So the more people we can get out there, the better. We're also going to start talking about it, you know, on shows that aren't behind the paywall. But you being a patron, you're the person we're talking to the most here. You know, we appreciate your support at Sunday Night's Main Event Radio. And if you're in the Toronto area, we'd love to see you come out Wednesday afternoon.
Yep, 1 to 6 p.m., 1249 Queen Street West, the Rhino. Thanks to the Rhino staff and everyone. But yeah, the other thing I want to do before we really get started with things is hopefully everyone in the East Coast is safe, with energy, you know, with loved ones, and everything is all okay over there. Sending much love to everyone on the East Coast.
100%. Yeah, man, absolutely. Stay safe. Hope you all have your electricity on, or that it's coming back as soon as possible. And yeah, hopefully the worst is over with all the storms.
Yep. So Matt, aside from tacos and shitty drinks, what's up?
Not too much, man. I'm just hanging in there. Like I said, not much has changed on the life front, although the whole drama in the house has kind of died down. So that's really nice. Just getting back to the swing of things, man. Where are you right now? You're in an undisclosed remote location in the woods. From some log cabin? Yep,
a log cabin that barely has any energy. Currently, it is 25 degrees Celsius and overcast where I am. So really, the weather's not much better where I am. Maybe a little warmer, but that's about it. But really looking forward to being home tomorrow. Even tomorrow, I forgot that I have a business dinner to get to. So it's like literally no rest for the wicked at this point.
Business dinner. That's fun though.
Yeah, it could be sometimes. But yeah, tonight I'm covering Dynamite for Slam. Tomorrow I'm covering Impact for Slam, because you know I have so much time to spare that I can take on these extra projects.
when do you have time to have a business dinner?
When I get back and between Impact. So Impact report might be going up a little late. The business dinners don't last long typically, right? So yeah.
Fair enough. I guess, yeah, you get your business handled and then your dinner handled, and you get
and then I'm gonna get my business handled after that. Hey yo.
Jesus. All right, Boris. Well, hey, congratulations.
Even if I have to handle my own business, we'll see.
All right, can we move on here?
Well, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm a busy guy. I'm talking about, like, I gotta log on to my computer, do my business. Yes. I don't know what you mean.
Yes, tasks. Yes, you are a task-oriented fellow, Boris.
A taskmaster.
Jesus Christ. We are okay. So I have some news items here for NXT if we want to quickly go over that before we get into the meat and potatoes of this here podcast.
Sure. Let's talk some news. Let's talk some stuff because there's nothing we love more than avoiding talking NXT as much as humanly possible. I love how that's still a joke, even though I absolutely love this show. Okay, absolutely love the show. Too far. I will say what I tell the lady friend. I tolerate the show.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's not. It's a level above toleration at this point, but I do think NXT is largely better. Although the last couple of weeks have kind of just been boring shows, just progressing storylines along. But that happens sometimes in wrestling. Anyway, here's a storyline that has been progressed. Gallus has been suspended. This is a kayfabe suspension, but Mark Coffey, Joe Coffey, and Wolfgang are now suspended due to their assaulting of officials and security guards on this episode that we're about to review. So that's the thing that's happening in storyline. I wonder if they're going home for a little bit. I wonder what the situation is there.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's visa stuff and paperwork that they have to do, right?
Perhaps. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I would bet that it's something along those lines for one, if not all, of the group there. So yeah, just a little minor note. Gallus might be out of action for a month or so. We're going to see how long it is. But yeah, storyline suspension for the Gallus boys. Shawn Michaels was recently interviewed by My San Antonio, and he noted that WWE NXT is still reaching out to indie wrestlers and talent from Japan. Shawn Michaels says nothing is off the table in terms of WWE's talent scouting, Boris. So that is the first real public. I guess Triple H has said some things in this realm too, but it's to me, this is the first real public acknowledgement that WWE isn't just looking for college athletes and gymnasts and football players. They are very much still looking for wrestlers.
Yeah, exactly. I think they have mentioned it a couple times, but it's good getting these confirmations and reassurances more than anything else, right? Like that. Hey, they are looking for people who actually know how to do what they do the most of.
Absolutely, yeah. People who are honing their craft and who respect wrestling and know wrestling and love wrestling. To that point, Boris, former New Japan wrestler Carl Fredericks has been spotted at the WWE Performance Center. So apparently this could be a new NXT superstar, Carl Fredericks, former Young Lion, New Japan strong, notable. I like his work. I think he's really talented. It'd be cool to see him in NXT.
I think that would be that's a nice little pickup. Like it's kind of like in the same realm of like the Alex Zane type of pickup, right? Like not super well known, but known enough that it'll be cool. It'll be cool.
Yes, 100%. So yeah, that was basically all my little news tidbits there for the NXT hardcores. A couple things out there on the waiver wire, if you will.
Yep, exactly. So that's really cool. Shall we get into the show?
NXT. I think it's the final 2.0. I guess we could call it NXT 1.5. It's kind of between 2.0 and the black and gold, but it will be the final rainbow branded episode of NXT, September 27th, 2022. The show opens with ya boy, Ilja Dragunov, coming to the ring to cut a fiery babyface promo.
Yep, it was a perfect way to start the show. The crowd has been awesome lately, and I'm really excited to kind of see how the crowd is going to be reacting moving forward, because that's something that I've noticed, you've noticed, we've talked about, and it's the fact that the crowd has been so hot lately, and that just adds to it, right?
100%. They know these people. Ilja Dragunov comes out, he's doing his conductor gimmick, and the crowd is standing on their feet conducting the theme song along with Ilja Dragunov. So whether they know his entire history in NXT and have seen every, match he's done, or they're just, kind of monkey see, monkey do, it doesn't matter. He's already being treated like a star. He's already coming across like a big deal on television. So great job by the crowd here.
Yeah, and I think like that's a huge part of getting these people over, right? Like I don't know whether it's a psychological thing or what, but like if you're watching TV and someone comes out, Ilya Dragunov, for example, and the crowd is doing the whole conductor thing with him as he's, coming out, and the crowd is going crazy for them, and the commentators are doing a good job of putting people over, you just instantly like these people or hate these people depending on whether they're heels or faces, right? Like it's kind of funny how that works, right? And again, it's so simple, and it's crazy to see how often people get that wrong in the booking in modern day wrestling.
Yeah, you're right, man. But a good example at AEW of them getting this kind of thing right is the Acclaimed, where they're getting over organically, and you can see the crowd doing the scissors and chanting along, and they actually put the tag team titles on them. So hats off to you, Tony Khan, and I kind of hope this ends up with Ilya Dragunov leaving with the NXT title to tell you the truth. But yeah, so Ilya Dragunov cuts his typical promo, which is more passion than verbal skill, but that's fine. He's a fiery, intense man, screaming into the microphone, spitting into the microphone, basically says that nobody thought he would be the man to dethrone Gunther Volta, but he chopped down that tree, and he will be the one that defeats Braun Breaker. So you'd think that Braun Breaker would come out, but of course, JD McDonough comes out instead. I don't even know. How do you describe JD McDonough in a phrase, in a sentence?
A sick fuck.
I guess that is it. I think that's the accepted nomenclature for JD McDonough these days. So yeah. JD McDonough enters the ring, gets in Dragunov's face, very intense stare down. Dragunov reminds JD McDonough that they had a match, a loser leaves town in NXT UK, and that McDonough lost and he had to leave town. McDonough responds by saying, sure, but in that match, I beat you up so bad that you had to relinquish the NXT UK title, which isn't entirely true. Dragunov did defend the title once or twice after that match, in fact, but I guess the storyline is that he was officially injured by JD in that match. So there you go.
Yep. And I go back to what I've been saying for weeks, and that's the fact that everything is in canon. If something happens somewhere in the WWE universe, it's going to be mentioned now. Like, it's part of your history.
100% love that. And yeah, this is all part of one big universe, which makes every show more important. It's just perfectly fine, man. It's just what wrestling should have been this entire time. So yes, Braun Breaker does come out, the NXT champion, welcomes Ilya Dragunov to NXT, says he knew he would see him eventually, calls him a warrior, but says that this NXT title isn't going anywhere. He is the ace of the brand. He didn't say that, but he may as well have. JD McDonough pipes up. So he is the number one contender. He says he has a good idea. The crowd starts chanting triple threat. But JD McDonough says, no, we won't be having any of that. Why don't you two goons beat the crap out of each other and I'll pick your bones? Braun Breaker laughs at this and says he's got an idea. He thinks that right now JD McDonough has a 33 and a third chance of winning, which you have to love that line. Little shout out to Uncle Scotty. And he lets the crowd finish. He says, we're going to have a triple. Puts the microphone up to the crowd. They yell threat. And there it is. Braun Breaker versus Ilya Dragunov versus JD McDonough. Triple threat match for the NXT title at Halloween Havoc.
Yeah, I love this. Like, overall, this was, again, very simple, but they told a good story, told us that there's history, that this Ilya Dragunov character is super important, right? It also kind of puts over Gunther, like in a weird way, because it's like Gunther, it was this unstoppable force in NXT UK, and this is the chap that unseated him, right? So I'm just loving the various aspects of the storytelling, and then you have, like you said, our ace of NXT 2.0, Braun Breaker, kind of putting everything together and being a fighting champion.
Yes, wrapping it up all in a neat little package, Boris. I did like this a lot. It was pretty good. It wasn't as good as, like, the Sami Zayn promo from SmackDown or anything.
Yeah.
It did not blow my socks off, but it was a great way to set up the main event, tell you the history of these two characters who are wrestling Braun Breaker in a nice, concise little way. In like 5-10 minutes, they told you everything you need to know about JD. and about Ilja. So very good.
Yep. Agreed.
All right, we head backstage. There is a brawl. Gallus boys and Briggs and Jensen, they're fighting. That's going to be handled in a pub fight in the main event. NXT champion Mandy Rose, your women's champion, heading to the ring. Toxic Attraction doing their thing. So that is our first match. Non-title NXT women's champion Mandy Rose versus Fallon Henley.
Yeah. This match was all right for what it was.
Yeah,
it was short, right? It was short.
Yes.
No surprise who was going to win. And what can you say, right? I think this match was essentially a setup for the post-match shenanigans. Not shenanigans, but the post-match stuff, the post-match story with Miss Fire.
Yeah, perfectly fine match. Put the champion over. Mandy Rose gets a little bit of ring time. The finish of this match comes when Fallon Henley attempts a DDT. Mandy Rose kind of like pancakes her off, basically throws her off into a flapjack position sort of situation. And then as Fallon Henley is coming to her feet, Mandy hits her with the Kiss by a Rose, which is the V trigger, the bicycle knee bomb, wins this match clean as a whistle. Pretty average, exactly what you would expect here, Boris.
Yeah, agreed. So I think this is the time to address this. I think we liked it last week. We are going to be moving the ratings to the end of the show.
Yeah, I kind of like doing the ratings all at the end. We might even get a theme song for it. But yeah, so we're going to move the rating portion to the end of the show, especially when I'm doing play-by-play instead of color. It's a little easier for me too. So yes, ratings at the end, possibly from now on, maybe just for the next couple weeks while we try it out.
Yep, exactly. All right, so let's talk about Miss Fire and her fiery promo.
Yes, Pyromaniac Alba Fire after the match. So Mandy Rose cuts a quick out-of-breath promo on Alba Fire. Says, basically, how dare you challenge me? I'm friggin' Mandy Rose. I run this shit on 2 continents. And Alba Fire interrupts Rose's promo, says she's not much for verbal warnings. She's more of a visual gal. And she lights the ground on fire. And the ground spells out #and new, Boris. So vibes of Dennis from Always Sunny lighting the ground on fire.
Yeah, that was hilarious. You know what? I knew you were going to say that, actually.
I had to. You know me too well, Boris. I'm a simple man with simple tastes. But yeah, so that perfectly fine little bit of pro wrestling here. I am pretty pumped for Alba Fire versus Mandy Rose. That it could be a pretty good match.
Yep, exactly. I think it should be fine. And at this point, it just, it's going to be the most random person to beat Mandy Rose, too.
I agree. Well, it might be Alba. It might be Alba at Halloween Havoc. Isn't it crazy, though, man? And we've made this point a little bit before, but isn't it crazy that Mandy Rose has gotten to the point where we're excited to see her in these matches? We're like, oh, I can't wait. It's going to be a good match.
Yeah.
It reminds me of when Nikki Bella actually got really good there near the end of her career,
Agreed. Like, say what you want, right? Like, I know people are laughing, but, like, actually watch her.
No, she's good.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, actually watch her matches, right? Like, they're good. Her finisher looks really good, actually.
Absolutely, man. Like, she's figured out how to be an interesting, dominant heel. She's, like, athletic enough. She plays the part. I don't know. I like it. It's like a new take on Gorgeous George or something. You know what I mean? Except she's more vicious. She's less of like a coward. It's dope.
Yep, exactly.
All right. So a new Apollo Crews vision. We see his vision. We see his bloody eye. And Apollo Crews is still coming for Grayson Waller. Their bad blood has not healed yet.
Yeah, this was fine.
It was all right. Yeah.
That's so Raven stuff. I'm not a huge fan of, but whatever. Give him something.
Yeah, exactly. We've seen it before. You had to air this though because Grayson's response was necessary on the show. That was 100%. Awesome.
Yeah,
Grayson Waller, great promo. Next up, Wes Lee makes his entrance with Quinn the King Crusher Molitor, who comes up with Hulk hands. Quinn Molitor is a Connor's Cure member there. So yeah, it's always really nice when they do the entrance with the Connors Cure kids. And this was a really nice one. Wesley with Quinn, the Crusher Molitor, the King Crusher Molitor. Sorry, Boris, coming out with Hulk hands.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I like this stuff. Like, it just like puts a smile to a face. It can make someone with a glass eye tear.
Yeah, man, exactly right. Yeah, it's just a little bit of heartwarming stuff, and it's just really nice for the kids, if nothing else. Like, you know what I mean? Even if you're like, whatever, if you're going to be cynical about it, just don't pay attention for 2
Wrestling
minutes. It's
fans
just
cynical? Nah.
Yeah, could you imagine such a thing? No. So back from commercial, Zion Quinn is backstage. He confronts Ilja Dragunov, says he's not really impressed with what Dragunov's done, which actually the heel announcer, Wade Barrett, is going to call out in their match later, which I thought was actually pretty impressive. Because Wade Barrett is a student of the game after all. So yeah, Zion Quinn says he doesn't care what Dragunov has accomplished, doesn't care who he's beaten. Zion Quinn is going to make his name by beating Ilja Dragunov tonight. And Dragunov basically laughs him off and says, all right, kid, bring it on.
Yeah, man, Zion Quinn, I just really don't care about this guy.
He's just not very interesting. There's not.
Honestly, 100%. That singing segment completely ruined him for me.
I believe it, man. He just doesn't have anything. He's not very interesting. That singing segment ruined his babyface push because they made him a heel not long after that. And as a heel, he doesn't. What's his hook? What's his thing?
He gets in people's faces and loses matches. That's literally all he does.
Dope. Yeah,
which,
man,
whatever. You know what? That's fine. If that's what he's there for, cool. But it just, I don't know. I don't see him moving forward.
Yeah, I don't see a path for him. He needs to figure something out right now because he is just stagnated. Absolutely.
Yep.
So yeah, that brings us to our next match: Wesley versus Tony D'Angelo for a chance to qualify for the North American title ladder match at Halloween Havoc. So Tony D'Angelo gets injured in this match. It ends via ref stoppage. That's the real story here. It did go through a commercial break, but the first part was a lot of stalling. They went to commercial. They were just starting to get going, and then injury, ref stoppage, match over. Wesley wins.
Yeah. Kind of came out of nowhere, right? Like,
yeah.
So the issue I have here, and we'll get to the end in a second, but the issue I had with this match was I feel like for a pre-taped show, you can put commercials almost anywhere you want. And I just feel like they picked the most awkward spot that completely took the wind out of the entire match.
They really didn't need to show us the first part. They could have just immediately done the injury, like not show us, because the match really was just stalling, and then injury.
Exactly.
So the actual spot where Tony got injured, it looked like he took a drop toe hold into the middle turnbuckle, and for somehow that fucked his leg up. I don't know if when he was like kneeling down to take the bump, he just like knelt weird or like whatever it was. But yeah, he tried to stand up after eating the middle turnbuckle, and that was when his knee was hurt. So
and
it was
this is strange. A legit injury too, right? Like let's make that clear. This is legit. So
yes,
the editing of all this was just very awkward and weird. Maybe they tried to edit, and it's like, well, this is the best we can do to, make even Wesley look half decent, right? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it would have been a pretty big win for Wesley. I assume Wesley was going to win this match regardless of the injury. So yeah, anyway, unfortunately it was a weird choice to air as much of it as they did. And yeah, just didn't come together because Tony D'Angelo got hurt. So hopefully D'Angelo is okay. No word on what the injury actually is. Hopefully he just tweaked his knee and he's fine.
Agreed.
All right, next up, this was pretty hilarious. A day in the life of Pretty Deadly.
Wasn't Mackenzie Mitchell first with Carmelo Hayes and Trick?
Oh, shit, sorry. I totally missed that in the notes.
Of course you did. Of course you're going to ignore the hardest working reporter in all of professional wrestling. Son of a bitch.
That is hilarious. Well, very good. Boris, do you want to take this one?
Yes, of course. The hardest working reporter in all of professional wrestling, Mackenzie Mitchell, interviews Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams, talking about Wesley getting another chance at the title. Melo talks about how he smashed Wesley's head in a locker before. This is when Oro Mensah shows up, said he's looking forward to the ladder match. Melo says he respects Oro's drop. Melo said at Halloween Havoc, it's every man for themselves, and Oro said he's looking forward to it. So that's I liked it. I like the back and forth between the two. I'm a fan of Ashton Carter, so yeah, let's do this.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. My anti-Mackenzie agenda has been clear for some time.
No shit.
No, but yeah,
what did she ever do to you?
No, but I did like this promo. I just totally missed it, but I watched it. I don't know how I just missed it in my notes, or did I delete it or something? I don't know where it went. But yes, I like that Carmelo said, "Hey, like you can hang out with me if you want. You know, you can take some lessons from the champ." Just totally condescending to Oro Mensah.
Yeah, exactly. But you're right. The next major vignette was one of my favorite things in the 2.0 era.
Yeah, this is hilarious. A day in the life of Pretty Deadly.
And
so
hold on, before you get to that, it's funny because I have my finger up telling you to like, hey, I want to get a point in, but yet you cannot see me. All right. This is why I love Pretty Deadly. Like, this is the reason why, like, I've been team Pretty Deadly since the NXT UK days.
Absolutely. Like, okay, so are they the Young Bucks in the ring? No. I'll tell you this. The Young Bucks have never done anything this entertaining outside of the ring. Including outside of a wrestling match.
Yep. Agreed. And look, I know we're going to, I don't even want to say it, but yeah, I'm going to say it. And I'm including their internet shows.
Oh, absolutely. BTE fucking sucks. I hate it. I'll say that to anyone who's listening. I hate it. It sucks. It's not funny. It's not entertaining. I fucking hate it. I doesn't mean I hate the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks are great. They're great professional wrestlers in the ring. Their promos suck and their internet show is fucking terrible. Also, they aided and abetted a rapist for what, 10 years? 5 years? Joey Ryan? That's a real thing. Anyway, moving on.
Pretty deadly. By the way, Bills still suck. Leafs still suck. Let's just get all the hate in here while we can. What else? What other hot takes do we have?
The same city.
You hate Mackenzie Mitchell.
I don't hate Mackenzie Mitchell.
Calgary and Edmonton. What's the difference? And Action Bronson is a piece of crap.
Yeah. Well, I can neither confirm nor deny those reports, Boris. I bet you he is.
And that wraps up the "we're gonna drop you guys" section of the show.
The beef hour. Yeah. Yes, beef Boris and Madman Matt. So yeah, this Pretty Deadly thing, honestly, nothing we could say will do it justice. They're hilarious. They're trying on outfits. It's a day in their life. And yeah, you gotta check it out. You gotta go watch it. Pretty Deadly. They're they're Rick the Model Martel with his tag team partner, Rick the Model Martel. They're
they're essentially Breezango doing the gimmick right.
That's harsh but fair. Harsh but fair, Boris. I'll grant you that one.
Two of them still have jobs. Cluck, cluck, cluck.
You're clucking hard over there today. By God. So add Breezango to the list of people we have beef with on this podcast.
Actually, I love Breezango. It's like they've been able to just pull it off. I don't know whether it's NXT or what, but like they've just been able to do this better, for lack of a better term.
I think they're more original. They're funnier in their own way. Like Breeze and Fandango are like funnier in a traditional sense. Yeah. In like they could write better scripts, and if you know what I mean, like their comic timing is probably better, but Pretty Deadly is funnier in a professional wrestling sense. Like they're a funnier act. Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. That's a great way to put it.
Like I don't think either of those two are actually funny people, but in a wrestling skit, they know how to pull it off.
I think Edge and Christian are decently funny, but yeah, like Tyler Breeze, I would watch like a comedy sketch that he wrote, or if he tried to do stand up, I would watch like a 5-minute set. Yeah, I think he's genuinely like could write pretty funny comedy sketches. He's a different kind of funny Tyler Breeze was. This Pretty Deadly is just absolutely classic 80s professional wrestling to the T, and I friggin' love it. It's so good. You have to check out this day in the life of Pretty Deadly segment. I'm positive it will be all over Twitter, all over the YouTubes. Go find it. It is worth your time.
And the gimmick I love the most is their side play checks.
Yeah, the side play check. Absolutely. That's what I mean, man. That's all you need. You need a little catchphrase, a little gimmick, something for the crowd to get behind. These guys are brilliant. Brilliant backstage performers here.
Yep. All right.
Your next match, the debut of Sol Ruca, Surfer Gal.
Yeah, sure.
So, yeah, this debut would have hit a lot harder if we didn't already have Tiffany Stratton, man. She's Tiffany Stratton with a surfboard.
She's Tiffany Stratton meets Nikita Lyons.
She is. We said it last week, but she absolutely is, man. She's interesting in the ring. Lots of gymnastics. A whole lot of gymnastics. Like
very
basically
similar to
everything
Tiffany
she
Stratton,
does,
right? Like
it's
it's uncanny how similar their offense is.
Everything she does is preceded by a flip or a cartwheel or a double flip or by standing on her head. Her finishing move is a front flip double leg drop to the back of her opponent, in this case Amari Miller. So yeah, Sol Ruca wins. A debut that would have been better under different circumstances, I think.
A live show, for example.
Yes, fair. Absolutely.
Yep.
So yeah, she is also she is from Oregon. The University of Oregon is Sol Ruca.
Oregon. Pac-12 represent. Or what's left of it. Maybe the only school that will be left in Pac-12.
Yeah, it's going to be the Pac-1, and it's the Ducks.
The Wolf Pack.
By God, the Pack of One.
The Baron Corbin of... Anyways, please go on.
Baron Corbin University. I love it. So Gallus is backstage. They get in a fight with security. One of the Gallus boys headbutts a security guard. These Gallus brothers, man, they're mean. They're some bad guys.
I'm loving because they really are turning them into the new APA.
Yeah, big time. They're definitely like soccer hooligans right now, but they have like a bar affinity. Anyway. Yep. Okay, so this might have been the best match on the show. Depends how you feel about hardcore matches. If you're not one for the weapons, this was the best match on the show. Joe Gacy versus Cameron Grimes. Good stuff here.
You know, said it before, and I'll say it again. The schism might be like just absolutely saddled with one of the worst gimmicks in all of professional wrestling, but all three guys are so good in the ring.
All three guys can absolutely go. The former Grizzled Young veterans, Rip Fowler and Jagger Reed, along with Joe Gacy, who, say what you will about Gacy, man, he's got a certified banger as his theme song. I love the Joe Gacy theme song. I dig it. I listened to it in the shower this morning.
Ew.
I did the same thing with Ariana Grace's theme the other day.
Taking care, TCB, taking care of business, Matt.
Every day, Boris, taking care of business every day.
Continue.
So Joe Gacy versus Cameron Grimes, a very, very good, entertaining, hard-hitting professional wrestling match between two guys who have beef, who have been feuding for a while. I loved the action. I hated the finish. It was a pretty lazy, dumb finish.
Agreed. You know, this is my issue with NXT 2.0, right? Like everything in the middle, if that's not the opener or the main event, just seems lazy sometimes. Like that's my one complaint of how NXT's been, and I hope that with the rebrand moving forward, they can clean that up. But it's just like, you know, and I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying that like they're not putting any effort into some of these endings. And I know an injury happened with Tony D, but like this is a second match that kind of just happened and ended.
100%. Yeah. So I'll tell you exactly what happened with the finish. all three members of the Schism are running around all willy-nilly. Both members of the Dyad, the former Grizzled Young Veterans, are in the ring at one point. I believe it is Jagger actually almost attacks Cameron Grimes. Grimes throws Jagger away, and as he is literally making physical contact with another man who's not in the match, Joe Gacy starts his handspring. And the timing of this was really nice. Cameron Grimes turns around into the clothesline, 1, 2, 3. But it just should have been a disqualification, 7 times before the finish happened?
Yeah, this wasn't just a weird match. Of note, though, I'm interested to kind of see, have you noticed that, like, masked person that's been kind of in the background of Joe Gacy's stuff recently? They even showed up at a house show, and they did something at a house show. So, I'm loving these Easter eggs with the recent product.
Yes, WWE's answer to Kip Sabian. If you look in the background of Joe Gacy's matches, there is a follower. There is a follower lurking in the crowd and sometimes like out and about in Joe Gacy promos and such. Boris, the word on the street is, the rumors are this follower is your girl Isla Dawn.
Yep. I can see that. I can see that. All right.
Jesus Christ. This is a horny episode. We need a cold shower on this episode.
Oh my God.
It was getting a little creepy at the end there. Just a little bit.
I can see it. Go. Continue.
Listener, you run the podcast. Hit that 15 seconds back and tell me if I'm wrong. So yeah, Joe Gacy wins this with the upside down world is officially what his clothesline, the Tajiri style springboard into a lariat that is now known officially as the upside down world.
So this is my issue outside of the end of the match, is that it appears that this feud is continuing.
Yeah, for sure it's continuing. 100%. That was not a blow off. That was step one of 3 or 4 match feud.
Yep.
All right, Grayson Waller promo yet again.
I thought you were going to skip this.
Yeah, the hardest working reporter in all of professional wrestling, your girl Mackenzie Mitchell, is with Grayson Waller, who is just losing his mind about Apollo Crews's vision. Was that real? How did we see that? Why can we see what he's thinking? Oh, that's fine. It's fine. I'm going to hire some extra security to protect myself. And Mackenzie says, well, if you're so scared, why don't you just not show up to work? Like, it's like, you know what I mean? He's like, no. I have Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade booked for the Grayson Waller effect. You know how much we're going to pop next week? Like, blah, 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 talking about ratings, talking about how many people wanted to see that confrontation. So he has to come. He can't deprive the people of Grayson Waller, but he's scared of this no good Apollo Crews. Just an excellent promo. Grayson Waller's great. He's so great.
This reminded me of a Lucha Underground promo. And by that, I mean the fact that they, everyone's breaking the fourth wall and acknowledging the fact that we're all seeing what Apollo Crews is seeing.
Absolutely. Yeah. There's a little wink and a nod behind this one, which I love. If you're going to do something as silly as the Apollo Crews thing, and Grayson Waller is supposed to understand it and be scared of it, I like that you actually had the character going, what the fuck is going on? Why can't I see this? I'm terrified. And this is very spooky.
Very articulate when I say this. I love the sass that Mackenzie Mitchell has.
Mackenzie Mitchell is quite sassy, just like, she has no time for Grayson Waller at all. She is seeing this guy's shtick and she's over it. I love it.
Yeah, and like this is how all of your backstage announcers need to be. Just give them a bit of a character, right? Like, and it just adds to the overall presentation. She's got moxie for sure.
She definitely has some moxie. Absolutely. Next up, a match between some ladies with some moxie, Boris. Kaden Carter versus Nikita Lyons. So when Naomi wrestles, or lots of people in the past, Rikishi, Kelly have had something known as booty-based offense, Boris, where your ass is an offensive weapon or a major part of your presentation, at least. And I think Nikita Lyons and Kaden Carter are two of the foremost booty-based offense wrestlers in all of professional wrestling today.
Yes, I agreed.
just to add to the absolute horniness of this episode. But yeah, no, this was a pretty good match, actually. Both of these guys are incredible, both of these gals, incredible wrestlers for their level of experience. Nikita especially. Actually, Kaden has sneaky been in NXT for a very long time. But still, in terms of who she's working, where she's working, Kaden Carter's actually pretty damn good. I like her a lot. Nikita Lyons, I think, is tremendous for her level of experience. So unsurprisingly, a pretty damn solid match with a surprising finish. Nikita Lyons wins with her finishing move clean in the middle of the ring.
Yep. Fine match. Not shocked at the ending myself, but fine match indeed.
Yes, Vic Joseph says this match had a lot of hype online. I'm just wondering what subreddits Vic Joseph is on.
BigBootyLiciousGals.com or slash whatever.
R slash. All right.
I'm
Here we
checking
go.
if this is a thing.
Jesus H. Here was a funny little promo. Chase University doing a pep rally. I guess it was supposed to be on the campus of Chase U, which is just the backyard of the Performance Center, which is pretty funny. So a reporter named Dave, Boris, a reporter named Dave asks Andre Chase a question that Chase does not like. Chase goes off on this reporter, asks Dave who he's ever beaten, what towns he's ever made, makes a joke about star ratings, and tells Dave it was a teachable moment. So this was a little shot at Dave Meltzer, friend of the show here at SNME Radio. I thought this was a bit of fun. I wonder what Dave has to say about it.
I thought this was hilarious. Like, again, like, how long has it been since WWE acknowledged the fact that there are things outside of their own universe, right?
Oh, it's super rare, but increasingly less rare in the Triple H era. It was just a lot of fun to see this. And I forget what the movie is, but there's an old movie where, like, I think Clint Eastwood, a character that Clint Eastwood plays, like, brutally murders a character that looks like Pauline Kael, who is a movie critic, and the character was a movie critic. Anyway, it was like really gross. You know what I mean? And that was like really off-putting. There's a way to do this that is absolutely disgusting and off-putting, but there's a way to do it that's really kind of nice and fun. And it's kind of like, oh, like that was just a bit of fun. Like they weren't making fun of Dave, really. They were a little bit, but in a nice way, in like a welcoming way. They were laughing with him, not at him, you know?
Yeah, they could look. Dave could have done so much worse, and we all know it. Also, speaking of discussing off-putting or nice and whatever, r/big booty girl, big booty T girl is a thing. Big booty T girl on Reddit is a thing.
That doesn't shock me in the least. We could spend a whole podcast going down that wormhole.
Oh, man, that's a podcast. The various pages of Reddit.
Maybe.
And then we get arrested in 3 weeks.
Jesus Christ, yeah. All right. Next up, a vignette featuring Nathan Fraser focusing on his success as a football star or soccer player if you're North American. So he's talking about how now he's in extra time, Boris. He's in match 3 of his best of 3 series against Axiom. And it's been made clear that the winner of match 3 will actually advance to the ladder match at Halloween Havoc. So that's pretty interesting. I wonder if it ends in a draw.
I don't know, man. I was gonna ask you, who do you think is gonna win? Who? I don't like. That's a tough call. Like, it would suck for either of these guys to not be part of that match.
Yes, it would. I think Fraser's getting a slightly stronger push. I think, for example, this vignette, I think Fraser's going to win if I had to choose one. Right now, my official prediction is they somehow draw, time limit, double count out maybe, and they both end up in the ladder match because they both should be in it.
I agree there, like in the fact that they both should be in it, but I don't know, man. I think you're right. I think Nathan Fraser is going to get it. He seems to be getting more hype. He seems to be getting more, like, overall build. But it just sucks, like, knowing that, you know, a kid is not going to be in that match. Sorry, Axiom.
Yes, yes. The math-based superhero axiom.
Yeah.
Next up, proof that Ilja Dragunov is one of the best wrestlers alive.
Taking
Ilja
Zion Quinn
Dragunov
look half decent.
versus yes, exactly right, brother. Ilja Dragunov versus Zion Quinn. The story of this match is Ilja Dragunov dragging a man kicking and screaming to a really good wrestling match.
Some would say he's Ilja Dragunoving. Oh fuck! I screwed it up. Continue with the show. Sorry.
No, thank you. That was worth it. That was pretty good. I like that one. So yeah, Dragunov just drags Zion Quinn kicking and screaming to a good match. Two things stood out to me here. The first of which is, you know who Ilja Dragunov is, Boris? He's the new He Who Shall Not Be Named. He's the new Chris Benoit. In terms of pure intensity in the ring, he's the first guy since Benoit who makes me like fear for his opponent, which is a weird thing to say about somebody who was a murderer. You know what I mean? But like,
Jesus Christ.
But like, well, Benoit.
This show's gonna need some heavy edits. Oh my god.
Or hear me out, 0 edits. But yeah, like Benoit versus David Flair. Have you ever seen that match?
Yes,
When Benoit,
I remember that match well.
Holy Christ! Oh dear, sweet David Flair. Oh man. Chris Benoit would, if you weren't ready for an intense physical battle with Chris Benoit, that guy would eat you alive.
Yeah.
And Dragunov has a little bit of that, man. Dragunov's coming at you at 125 miles an hour. And Zion Quinn had to wrestle the match of his life just to keep up with this guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Ilja Dragunov, his offense also scares me because he just literally launches himself head first into you half the time.
He's a little bit of a Darby Allin in that way. It's not as crazy as Darby because he's not jumping off the lighting rig through 5 tables. You know what I mean? But he is throwing caution to the wind at all times.
Yeah. Yeah. Ilja Dragunov is so good. If this is the first time that you've seen Ilja Dragunov, which I'm sure if you're listening to this show, it's not. But if it is, honestly, what an introduction to Ilja Dragunov.
Yeah, like holy shit, this guy had a good match with this clown, Zion Quinn. The second thing that stood out to me was like when you watch JD McDonough wrestle, even Tyler Bate to some extent, you see how small they are. You see how small they are versus their opponent. Dragunov was much smaller than Zion Quinn.
Yeah,
he didn't look smaller. You know what I mean? It's his wrestling style is such, and he wrestles with such passion, such fire, and he's so intense in there. And he's such a water bug in there. He's moving all over the place. It never looks like he's small. He wrestles like a giant. He grows in front of your eyes almost. You know what I mean? Like you never see the size discrepancy in a Dragunov match. If anything, it helps him.
Well, this is the thing that gets to me, right? Unless you point out the fact that wrestler ABC is small, you're not going to realize when they're actually wrestling because it's very rare that the two guys are like in a position where you can actually tell the difference, right, in height. So that's why like it gets to me when someone says, "Oh, this person is small." Like, you know, all the internet jokes about Adam Cole, right? Until it was pointed out, no one gave a shit.
Yeah, man, I agree with that wholeheartedly, buddy. I don't think it matters that much. But
having said that, I'm still a little iffy about the future of, you know, the Ilja Dragunovs, the Tyler Bates, the Johnny Garganos of the world, just because you just never know how accepting the crowd is going to be. Because, like, at the end of the day, a lot of people who watch WWE are still accustomed to Vince's WWE.
That's true. And there will be a learning period. But I'll tell you this, man, I'm not worried about Dragunov one iota. Not 1% worried about Ilja Dragunov. Chris Benoit was world champion. Eddie Guerrero was world champion. Dragunov is at that level. In the ring. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. I was going to say, but Eddie Guerrero, which is like he was a total package, right? Like he had it all.
Yes.
He could speak and wrestle.
Yes, and go heel, baby face, and do literally everything. Like, yeah, technical wrestling, high flying, you brawl, literally everything. Yeah, Dragunov doesn't have that. But what I mean is, in terms of like, are you a good enough wrestler that the crowd would completely ignore all of your size discrepancies? Yes, I think he has hit that level.
Man, I was just thinking, my top 2 wrestlers of all time. are Owen Hart and Eddie Guerrero. Like, Jesus.
That's pretty good top two.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good top two. I think my top two of all time are Macho Man, Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. I think Macho Man who would be number 3? That's a show we should have someday.
Yeah, our
And
personal also, top whatever.
This is why I cannot do color, and this is why I need to do the show, because I get so easily distracted.
I like it though.
And
lots of detours
awkward silence.
No, I thought you were building to something. I thought you were coming out with something else. Are you done?
Yeah, that's it. I'm just saying. Dang, I'm annoying. I'm doing my thing. I'm literally doing my thing as not.
Oh Jesus! Literally?
God.
Oh no!
Not literally. I'm doing my own thing while you talk, waiting for my ain to talk. But hey, you can continue with the show anytime. Go ahead.
So you're hitting me with the full Louis C.K. right now, is what you're telling me. Lash Legend and Wendy Chu sit down promo, Boris. This was all right. I thought this was actually, the Lash Legend is excellent. She's really good promo. That's for sure. She's not good in the ring. She's really good on the old microphone. Wendy Chu, I hate the character so much that it distracts me from the fact that it's the character. It's the character. She is talented, she's confident, but it's the character. The character, it bugs me so damn much that I can't give it any time of day. I just can't.
Yeah, the Kitty Chu, the Wendy Chu, who, like, whatever you want to say, like, I just don't like that character of Wendy Chu because it takes away from everything that made Karen Q awesome.
Yes, absolutely. Like, she's finding her voice a little bit. Wendy says that the Lights Out match versus Tiffany Stratton proved that when she gets down to business, she can kick some ass and she can be a real professional wrestler. Lash Legend says, I don't care if you see this boot coming. I don't care if you don't see this boot coming. I don't care about your little nap time and your little onesie. I'm Lash Legend. I'm going to kick your head off and win this match. So I liked it. This was actually pretty good, though I have no time for Wendy Chu.
Yep, agreed. It was good. But again, like, this is someone, it's just like, despite their character, you still don't mind them.
Exactly right. Wow. This next match, Brutus Creed versus Damon Kemp.
Yeah.
Boy. So this was a ton of fun. Sloppier than all hell. This is two bulls in a china shop. Just beating the heck out of each other, suplexes, some good mat wrestling. The match is just building to a nice crescendo when Damon Kemp yet again grabs a chair. It beats the shit out of Brutus Creed with a steel chair. For the second week in a row, Damon Kemp lays waste to a Creed brother with a chair. Man, I haven't seen a chair beat down like this in a while. This was like WrestleMania 17, Austin beating the crap out of the Rock with a chair beat down.
Like, I'm just watching this. I'm like, holy crap. Like, this is insane. Like, Damon Kemp, I really like Damon Kemp. And, like, yeah, I really want to see where they're going with this character. I hope he doesn't, like, have this long-ass program with the Creeds, because no one needs it. But I want to see where they go with Damon Kemp.
Their work together has been so entertaining so far. I do want to see them go a little while, but I agree that they don't kind of need to be against each other. I don't know. It's a weird dynamic, but it has been working for sure. So yeah, man, Damon Kemp, he's still very new, obviously. It's a little paint by numbers. He's like yelling, "Shut your mouth, shut up" to the crowd. Just very day one 90s wrestling heel, but he's entertaining at it. He's figuring out the ups and downs of the wrestling business, figuring out how to be a wrestler on the fly here.
Yep. I was able to find the YouTube video of Damon Kemp versus Brutus Creed in college.
Oh, the actual wrestling?
There's an actual
wrestling match?
Wrestling college video of them going at it. It's the match that Damon Kemp referenced in his coming out promo.
Nice, man. Yeah, post that on the Facebook thread or the Twitter or whatever of this here podcast.
Yep, will do.
Awesome. So yeah, the story of this match, it was really good for 4 or 5 minutes. There was a long hold in here, but yeah, they're new wrestlers, and just the absolute barrage of chair shots rained down upon Brutus Creed. Oh my God.
Yeah, it was crazy, and it went for a while too, even after the match.
Yes, yeah, it went on for a bit. Oh, backstage promo with the super diva Quincy Elliott and Sangha. Let's fucking go.
I love these random pairings that they're doing with backstage segments.
100%. Yeah, it's fun to see just random characters interact like this. So the Quincy Elliott, the super diva, gives Sangha a little pep talk here. Says, man, you don't need to worry. Like, you're Sangha. Like, I'm Quincy Elliott. I got enough diva positivity for everybody. You just got to get out there and keep doing your thing. And Sangha says, you know what? I usually give out the advice, but this week I needed some advice. Thank you, brother. And he walks away. It was a nice little moment between Sangha and the super diva Quincy Elliott. Zion Quinn walks by selling because he just got obliterated by Ilja Dragunov. And referencing last week, Quincy Elliott tells Zion Quinn that he did watch some tape of Zion Quinn, and he's got to tell him he doesn't see the X factor there at all. Laughs, actually says the words tee-hee, and leaves. Walks out on Zion Quinn.
I love the Quincy Elliott character.
Same, yeah. There's a little bit of Boris in Quincy Elliott. Just not the super diva factor, but the fuck you to your face factor. No, I'm just kidding.
You know what's hilarious? That's a compliment. I'm taking that as a pure compliment. Like, thank you for understanding me. Oh my God.
So we are still backstage. We see Nikita Lyons and Zoe Stark walking. Nikita Lyons talking, says she is going to win the women's tag team titles. You saw it here. They just pinned one half of the tag team champions, and it's not going to be any different when they challenge for the belts. But then they run into Toxic Attraction, who say that the belts looked better on them and that Zoe and Nikita are not ready. Mandy Rose, thank God, starts speaking. Best promo here by far. Says, ladies, there's one problem. There's 3 of you, or 2 of you and 3 of us. At that moment, a huge fire explosion happens. Everyone jumps back. By God, what's going on? Well, it's Alba Fire, Pyromaniac. And she says the odds have been evened. So next week, it is a trios match, Boris. It is Toxic Attraction versus Alba Fire, Nikita Lyons, and Zoe Stark.
Yeah, I think that'll be fun. What I'm looking forward to the most next week, though, is the State of the Commonwealth.
Yes, next week we will also see a State of the Commonwealth address from your NXT Tag Team Champions, Pretty Deadly. We also have another pretty good promo, the Grayson Waller effect with Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade. That's going to be fun. We have 2 North American ladder match qualifying situations. We have Andre Chase versus Von Wagner for 1 spot. And we have match 3 in the series, Axiom versus Nathan Fraser for the 2nd and final spot.
Yep. Next week's show seems promo heavy, but also like, okay, because you have Pretty Deadly, you have the Grayson Waller talk show, the Waller effect, whatever it's called, and then you have a bunch of matches. So like, man, I'm curious to see how they time the matches versus the promos.
Same, absolutely. It's kind of cool that wrestling shows are advertising promos. I like when AEW goes, Eddie Kingston addresses his enemies, or Chris Jericho will speak, like I like that stuff.
Yeah, sure.
All right, so this was my choice for match of the night. I bet you it wouldn't be everyone's because a lot of people don't have time for the hardcore match, the weapons-filled brawl. We see it a lot in wrestling, especially in AEW, and there wasn't any blood. There wasn't anything like that, but I did think this was an awesome, wild brawl. The pub fight, Boris, Josh Briggs, and Brooks Jensen versus Mark Coffey and Wolfgang.
Yeah, this match was fun. I enjoyed this match overall.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. You know what really impressed me in this match was the selling of Brooks Jensen. This was the most Brooks has ever looked like a wrestler. This is the best Brooks has ever looked in a ring. I thought this was a really good night for Brooks Jensen. You got to be fair. Got to be fair. He looked awesome in this match.
I was going to make a joke, but honestly, I'm going to give him credit. He really did look really acceptable, half decent, tolerable in this match.
Yes, yeah, tolerable is not even fair. I think he was.
No, he was good. No, honestly, he was good. He was good.
He was
overall.
like the highlight. He was like the highlight of the match, man. He was like selling his ass off. He was like, dragging on the referee, begging for mercy. Like, I thought he did a really good job. I really was impressed.
You do realize that Brooks Jensen's going to be like both of our favorite wrestler in like 2 years.
I don't realize that. I think that is incorrect.
$50 says that Brooks Jensen will be both of our favorite wrestlers in 2 years.
All right, I'm taking that bet. You heard it here first. You owe me $50 on September 28th, 2024. No, baby, I'm open to the idea, buddy. We'll see. We shall find out. I'll tell you, it didn't happen, but he moved up in my rankings on this night. He's no longer dead last. I'll tell you that, man.
Yeah, it's almost the Brooks Jensen line.
Ooh, not yet, but we're getting close. We need to rename the line, though. That's good. Is it the Wolfgang line, Boris?
No, I don't think it's the Wolfgang line. I think Wolfgang's better than that.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah. So basically, this is a hardcore match. You've seen hardcore matches before. It was a good take on a tag team hardcore match. The finish comes when Briggs and Jensen shatter beer mugs on Mark Coffey and Wolfgang. They sell that really well. Joe Coffey runs in at that moment despite being banned, but no bother. He takes a double big boot through a table. That was pretty dope. Also, Wolfgang stumbles to his feet. He is hip tossed through a table. Mark Coffey stumbles to his feet. He is thrown upside down into a trash can. Classic wrestling spot. Everyone laughs at that. He gets up out of the trash can still on his head, and walks into the high-low combination, the double lariat, and Brooks Jensen gets the win, pins Joe Coffey. Brooks Jensen, great night here. Never thought I'd see the day, Boris.
Right. Yeah, this match was a lot of fun. Like, it really was good. Brooks Jensen, let's give him the MVP of this match. This was a lot of fun. 11 minutes overall. This was fun. This was exactly what it needed to be. And yeah, sure. Let's go with it. And if this is what like PG hardcore matches are gonna be, then I'm for it.
I'm okay with it. It was perfectly fine main event to a decent NXT show. So Halloween Havoc, October 22nd, Saturday, 2022. We have 2 matches official. For the NXT men's title, we have Braun Breaker versus Dragunov versus JD McDonough. For the North American title, we have Carmelo Hayes versus Oro Mensah versus Wesley versus one of Andre Chase or Von Wagner versus one of Axiom or Nathan Fraser. That will be a ladder match for the North American title. We're also for sure going to have, I would say, Mandy Rose versus Alba Fire. That's pretty much set in stone. One last thing, Boris. We got some ratings to dish out.
Yeah, let's go through that.
All right. Cool. So first things first, Mandy Rose versus Fallon Henley non-title match. Thought it was pretty average overall. We're gonna do a pub theme for this here episode of NXT. So let's go 2.5 Rhinos. 1249 Queen Street West out of 5 for this one.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Sounds about right? Right average match, I would say.
Yep. At best, right? Like, I think it was at best, but sure.
Wesley versus Tony D'Angelo. Unfortunately, you couldn't go higher than 1 Nazareth bar out of 5. It was a bad match. No fault of their own, but it was what it was.
Agreed. It wasn't good at all.
No. Sol Ruca versus Amari Miller. Again, I would say it. I'd have to put it right on the line. Pretty average debut. It would have been a lot better if we didn't see Sol Ruca Jr., Tiffany Stratton for the last year in NXT, right? So 2.5 Reposado bars out of 5 for this one.
Yep. The odds of them ending up in a tag team, very high in my opinion.
Great call. 100% agree. Next up, Joe Gacy versus Cameron Grimes could be the match of the night. Quite enjoyed this one. Joe Gacy, good wrestler in the ring. Can't argue that. We're going to go 3.5 real sports bars out of 5 for this one, Boris.
Yep. Agreed. I dig that. I dig that. I can live with that.
Nikita Lyons versus Caden Carter. Perhaps I was, influenced by the booty-based offense in this match, but I'm going to go 3 track and fields out of 5 for this one. I thought it was above average. Pretty good match.
Yeah, this one was fine. Like, it wasn't, like, both of these women are super talented.
100%. Absolutely. Yeah, especially Nikita for her time spent in the ring.
Yeah. And Caden, just like she's been there for so long that you kind of forget that how good she actually is.
Yes, agreed. Well put. Ilja Dragunov versus Zion Quinn. Tough match to rate. I think at 3 stars, it's probably the worst match of Ilja Dragunov's career and the best of Zion's.
Well, that's the issue, right? Like, you literally have like one of the best wrestlers in the ring today and Zion Quinn.
Exactly right. It would have been, yeah, there was an obvious joke there. I respect that you didn't do it. But yeah, we're going to go 3 Birreria Volos out of this one. That's a good bar if you've never been to
Barvolo. Oh, I love Barvolo.
Yes.
Great place. Great place. Used to go there on, I believe it was Tuesdays or Wednesdays. They had deals all the time.
Nice. Next up, man, you know what we got to do here. Brutus Creed versus Damon Kemp. We're going sneaky D's for this one. You can't call this an average match. You either thought it was like weird and bad and they spent too much time in holds, or you thought it was awesome and chaotic other than the 2-minute chin lock, and it was a lot of fun. I thought it was awesome and chaotic and a lot of fun. We're going to go 3 sneaky D's out of 5. Best nachos in the city.
Yep. Greatest nachos in the city. Oh man, I can go for some actually. Oh, that
would be unbelievable.
Honestly, I gotta be 100% honest. I thought you were gonna use sneaky D for the Nikita Lyons Caden Carter match. Just saying.
Jesus Christ. Oh,
anyways, I also have ratings to chat about because we're recording late in the day. We actually have ratings. NXT
Wait,
average.
I still have the main event.
Oh shit, I forgot about that.
That's fine. Yeah.
Had to get my sneaky D joke in too early. God damn it. Missed my cue.
You fucking blew it too early, Boris. Yeah, juice.
Insert whatever, insert pre go. Just go, please.
Josh Briggs and Brooks Jensen versus the Gallus boys, Mark Coffey and Wolfgang in a pub rules match. 3.5 tall boys craft beer houses out of 5 for this one. Possibly match of the night. Good stuff. Best match, best performance of Brooks Jensen's career by a fucking wide canyon.
Yeah, agreed. Oh man, I am sorry to our listeners. I'm just like, this is I am so sorry. Today. We're something today.
All right. Well, that was a good one. That was a lot of fun. Boris will get back behind the wheel next week, I am sure, for the first.
I do have ratings. We still have one last thing to do.
White and gold episode. Oh, yeah, ratings. Hit me.
Like, I literally stalled the show and interrupted you. Then you interrupted me on the interruption and forgot why I interrupted you.
That did happen. I'm sweating profusely. I'm ready to wrap this thing up. But go rant about the ratings.
So NXT got 660,000 viewers on the USA Network, down 4.1% from last week. It's the lowest audience total since August 9th. In the 18 to 49 demo, NXT finished 14th with a 0.16 rating. That's up, though, 6.7% from last week and ties the best rating in that category since August 16th. Now, doesn't that sound weird, right? They're like, overall ratings down, key demo up. Think of the regular demographic for WWE. Do you know what the number 1 channel was on cable last night?
Fox?
The Weather Channel.
Oh, makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Crazy, huh?
Yeah, it is. It is absolutely crazy. So, to summarize, NXT increases its demo audience but falls in overall viewership. That's it's interesting. But we're going into the white and gold era, so I think you could pretty much throw this rating into the trash. It doesn't really mean too much.
Exactly. It's a throwaway rating, kind of like this entire show. So we might as well end it with a throwaway gimmick. He's Matt. I'm Boris. Stay tranquilo. Let's get out of here.
This song is a banger.
I'm yours. I might have lied a few times before, but I'm living down a new road. Love is blind. Grass is always greener on the other side. I'll never leave you.
Oh, that was a mess.